Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Meat. Today we got another viewer requested build. Someone specifically wanted a bard build, wanted to know if you can make a bard that did damage spell-wise, and I wholeheartedly recommend that you can. I recommend that you either go Flame Dancer or Thundercaller, which is the one that you were suggesting. I'm going to do Flame Dancer just to show you a different trick, and don't tell anybody because it's a special trick. But I will do the other build for you as well. That'll be in a few days. Know that we are using Bag of Tricks to force level the character up, as well as to gift you some items that you'll find in the game to show you what this bard's going to be capable of doing. Also, Eldritch Arcana will be heavily used. Now, of course, I could make this an amazing character if I made you undead bard, and I'm not going to. You can do that. I'll show you how you can do that, but I'm not going to because I think it's kind of cheesy. But it's cool, and the fact that Eldritch Arcana Mod allows you to make an undead character makes it pretty badass. First, we need to discuss what kind of bard you are going to be. We're going to make you, like I said, a Flame Dancer, but what I mean is what kind of race. The obvious choice is going Halfling, and that's what we're going to do. But you can go Aasimar. There's plenty in there that have either Strength and Charisma, Intelligence Charisma, Dex and Charisma, which would be your favorites, and some of them, I think all of them, get a free spell once per day. It's pretty useful, and I think the one spell that you get is either Glitter Dust or Burning Arc is a solid one that they have, and again, an extra damaging spell. Why wouldn't you want that? But that's, again, Aasimar, and I'm not a fan of playing Aasimars. It's nothing wrong with them, it's just I feel like I'm cheesing by playing like a half-angel person. Halflings make perfect sense to me. Now, you could even go Tiefling. There's a Dex one in there for sure, but I don't know there's a lot that, if any, that are Charisma-based. So that could be a problem as well. And we want to have Charisma high. You could have gone, of course, Gnome as well, and again, recommend it, because while it's not Dex and Charisma, it is Con and Charisma. They get a bonus to illusion spells, and illusion spells are going to be pretty heavy in this game. Now, I'm going to use this dwarf picture and pretend like it's just a very thick halfling, because she has fire powers, plus she's evil, and that's actually also going to be important to us. So let's take our halfling character. Give her the bright red hair. Sadly, this is the longest hairstyle we can give her. We'll give her the evil face. And then, of course, we make her extra chunky monkey. That's her. Totally her. She's also pale because she's been, I don't know, burning her skin off. Who the hell knows? But basically, she looks pale in the picture, so I'm going to go with that one. Portrait-wise, she's using blue on red, possibly, here. So kind of like a flame motif, I suppose. We're going to go Bard. I'm going to show you Thundercaller first, just to talk about some stuff that you could get, and that's going to come in the next video. But I'm also going to go make you, no, I want the red one, and then this one will be blue. There we go. I want to talk about how Thundercaller is going to be different for you. The real take-home for Thundercaller is this ability here. Well, two abilities. This one, and then the electric one that you're seeing here. This is a spell-like ability called Thunder Call. It is the equivalent at this level, level 3, of Soundburst, a spell that you would even get as a bard, or could get as a bard. And it does 1d8 damage, and it's AoE, it's not teammate friendly, and it does a chance to stun if they fail their fortitude save. That's basically what this is at this point. But what these are will be steady increases, so 1d8 to 3d8 to 5d8, 7d8, and finally 9d8 of damage AoE. This is the reason you want this one. How do you actually use these? These actually use up your song, the performance. I call them songs, but your performance ability. You have a certain number of rounds that you can use them a day. Each use churns up 1 point. Each use burns up 1 use of these spell-like abilities. So literally at this highest level, you can use it as many times as you have performance in a day. That's how many quote-unquote spells is what I'm going to call this. Even though it's not a spell, it behaves like one. And it's powerful. The fact that you can get like 30 or 40 of these performances in a day means that you have 30 to 40 9d8 attacks in a day. That's power. And I don't care how you want to slice that, but that's an amazing upgrade for your character. It has all the typical bardic shit besides, your inspired courage, you got your healing ability, you got your heroics, your fascination and greatness, and deadly performance, and so on and so forth. But by and large, it's a solid upgrade. Notice the one real difference here is instead of getting a bonus to all your checks for knowledge and lore, they only get a bonus to their lore and nature, which is kind of lame sauce. I'll grant you on that one, especially since all the other bards get a bonus to all 4, both lores and both knowledges, so that's kind of bummer. Notice also, though, you do get this ability called Storm Call that gets upgraded to Greater Storm Call. And this is, again, a song. You turn it on a performance. What happens is, after you turn it on, you'll have a toggle or a clickable ability in your abilities tray that allow you to call down a little lightning bolt to a target. Notice that, let's see, it says, can use your performance to summon bolts of lightning that deal 3d6 of electric damage. Lasts for as long as you can keep the performance going. And again, this would also apply for those that have the extended performance. What do you call that? The one that literally lingering performance. So it lasts. If you turn it on, shut it back off immediately. Now it's up for 3 rounds. The round you activated and 2 rounds after. That's not bad. That's a really good use of that then. So you can literally start it, shut it right back off again, and have the ability to call down the bolt of lightning. And it says it's per round, it's a random enemy within 50 feet. So again, it's not something we can control, I don't think. It's a shame, but again, 3d6 damage is not anything to sneeze at, and then it turns into 3d10 if you're in the effect of, or the area of a stormy area, which again, there is storms in this game. There's probably spells too that can activate this. You see here, it even tells you an elemental of large size, an air elemental for that matter, of large size at least, something that you can summon as a bard. So again, something that you could use to really kick out that 3d10 of damage instead of 3d6, or eventually 5d6 turning into 5d10 once you get to the greater version. And this is another really big fuck you to the bad guys. Now, there's not a lot of ways to buff these that I can think of. It's entirely possible for these ones, since there's a save, it might be considered an evocation spell, even though it's a spell-like ability. So if we buff spell focus evocation and greater evocation, then we might be able to buff the save on this one as well. So if not, at the very least, we're going to buff our charisma through the roof anyway. So this is a solid one that you could make, and again, I'll do that video for you later. This is the one we're doing today, and the reason for it is a couple reasons. One, I love the fire spells. You get 3 for free here, and you even have another one in your build, by the way, you could pick anyway, called Shadow Evocation, because it can have Fireball spell, Lightning Bolt, Volcanic Storm, Ice Storm, and Shout, all in one spell. One of those, or 2 of those, are fire spells, the Firestorm, and the Volcanic Storm, and the Fireball. And again, technically speaking, they would do fire damage, and if you can buff your fire damage, then you suddenly can be an awesome son of a bitch. This is going to be an interesting build because it's not going to be a purist build. Thundercaller will be. This one will be a 8 levels of Flame Dancer, 4 levels of Dragon Disciple, and I'll explain why later, and then the other 8 levels of Flame Dancer to finish off the build. So you'll finish as a 16 here, so you will not get this extra bard talent, and you won't get your deadly performance, which is okay. I never use that one anyway. But you will get some extra strength and some extra armor and some extra fiddly bits for going Dragon Disciple, and there's a reason for doing that, so that's why we're going that route. Again, we're going Halfling, and I'm okay with that choice. Notice for skills, or sorry, for abilities, we're going to get your strength up to 10. We're going to leave it there. Dex is going to go to 16. Con's going to go to 12. Intelligence is going to go to 14. And we want to put everything that we can into here. Notice that it's not going to get us to 19 like we want. So we need to literally lower this until we can go there. So we're finishing with a Wisdom of 8 and a Charisma of 19. Why did I go that route? The Wisdom penalty is not that big of a deal, for one. Yes, it lowers down these 3 stats here by 1 point. But again, we have a nice bonus to Perception being a Halfling anyway. We got nice Vision. And we're never going to use Lord Nature and Lord Religion as far as I'm concerned anyway, so who cares? You know, the penalty is totally worth it to get the Charisma up to 19. Because now we can put all 5 points into Charisma, finishing at a solid highest Charisma I can give you of 24, unaltered. That means no spells, no buffs, no motor cars, not a single luxury. Point is, you're going to have really nice Persuasion and probably use Magic Device as well, so that's going to be kind of your bread and butter. For bards, because they had a green check mark and everything, I am a fan. It doesn't mean you have to do this. I am a fan of unlocking everything. In this instance, I will not unlock Knowledge World, Lore Nature, or Lore Religion. I could, and I have in the past, but I'm going to actually steal the 3 points that I would invest in these, 1, 2, and 3 points total, and just dump them into use Magic Device just to get it a little bit higher. But just so you have an idea of how many we're going to finish with, Athletics will be a 10 here. You'll have 3 in Mobility in case you want to fight defensively. Trickery, we're going to only add 4 points to it, but it'll give you with your high dex that you're going to have a nice Trickery early on. Stealth is done. 1 point in it, and that's it. Knowledge Arcana, we're going to max that at 20, and there's going to be a reason for that. You're going to be the Knowledge Arcana guy, or in this case, gal. Then we skip all the way down to Perception. That's going to be a 20 for obvious reasons. Persuasion, also 20. You rule a kingdom, you need to be a persuasive son of a bitch. So here you go. And again, you're a charisma-based person. These two should be probably pretty high. Again, persuasion is getting 20. Use magic device is going to get 11. Normally, 3 more because I'm going to steal, like I said, 1 from world, 1 from lore nature, 1 from lore religion. So instead of 11, it will finish at a 14. Just so we know I can fast forward through these parts, okay? But that's basically your build. For here, because we're using mods, we will do a lot of cool stuff here. Again, if you wanted to be undead, go to physique drawback, go down to you are cursed, click this thing here, unlock the show available. See the undead curse, this is what you would need to be. You don't have a chance to pick a deity, which seems kind of weird that bards don't get a deity. I don't know what that's about, but you don't, so that's a thing. But you can pick a spell focus of any kind or spell focus necromancy in particular. But since we don't have either of those and we don't want to be undead, I'm not going to do this. If you wanted it though, spell focus evocation is the way to go here. And again, that will be enough for you to suddenly be able to pick this thing here. That means, back here a minute, you don't need a con of 12. Matter of fact, you can steal all those points away and probably add them to wisdom back, because con is going to be nothing if you're undead. Undead, use your charisma modifier for your HP and for your fortitude saves, which is why this would be a great idea. I just can't make myself do it, dude, because you're going to be kicking off fire, and undead go up like kindling against fire, so it's a bad idea. I know it doesn't mean anything. You can be careful and not hurt yourself with your own spells, but it's not the point. It seems weird to be an undead that's throwing out fireballs everywhere. So I'm not going to go that route. If you want to, you know how to do it now, feel free to do that thing. I'm going to actually, instead of doing physique, I'm going to do emotion drawback and grab envy. It's a penalty to your concentration checks, and you do cast spells, so this is going to be annoying, but you do not have this penalty if you have money. So just don't be poor. That's my advice to you, and it always is my advice to you. From here, this gives us 3 traits. Now, we have a variety of traits that I like. Let's start with the ones that I think are necessary. Campaign trait. I'm going to suggest Nobleborn. Notice that there's a laundry list of ones here to pick from, and I want you to see some stuff. Remember, you move slow, you're a halfling. But so what? You're going to be a ranged halfling. In my opinion, you're going to be spell casting at distance, and you'll probably be shooting a crossbow or something similar. More on that later. But having more speed is not unheard of, and here's a way to get 5 feet per round back by going Noble Family Crest. Not recommending it. I'm just giving you options. Blah, 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 whatever the hell that is. They get skill in using either a longsword or a dueling sword. You're not doing either of those things, you're keeping it ranged. Not that you couldn't, you do have skill in longsword, rapier, short sword, and all simple weapons and short bows, and anything that a bard, a halfling, would have skill in. More on that again later. But again, this is not your cup of tea. Come down here to Sertova. Notice that this one is just straight up damage bonus, pass. Rogarvia, you get a fireball spell for free. Notice this part. Even if the caster normally does not get to learn the spell, you will have at a level 3 casting, once you can cast level 3 spells, the ability to cast fireball. Like even a paladin can do this, which is fucking tits. For your other build, the Thundercaller, better believe I'm going this route. Why? Because you didn't have access to fireball. Now you do. Free of charge. Pretty badass, right? Well, why not do it for this one? Because we actually get fireball for free here. So it doesn't give you 2, gives you just fireball early, so who cares? In this case, we get not only fireball, we get burning hands and burning arc. That's a level 1, level 2, and with fireball, a level 3 fire spell. That's awesome. That's the reason we're going this way. So we don't need this one, is my point to you. Orlovsky, just a bonus to some weird stuff that you can even really give a rat's ass about. Medjeva, lay on hands. Obviously, this is meant for someone that has this ability, like a paladin. Pass. Ladovka. Notice this one. This is the one we're going with. Bonus to athletics. We get a bonus to athletics also for being a halfling. So this is another double smack to your athletics. That's nice. And again, if you are a spellcaster of any kind, paladin, bard, wizard, cleric, at level 1 spellcasting, you can now cast snowball. Well, you're level 1 right now. So now you get to cast snowball spell. Why do I even care? This is not a fire spell. Who cares? It's a damage spell. That's what you wanted. And it's a better damage spell in that it's single target with no spell resistance, and even if they make the save, they still take damage. It has nothing to do with they take less damage. It has everything to do with do they get stunned or staggered or whatever. So even if they make the check, which is a fortitude check by the way, who cares? You're still dishing out damage, and this can be increased with meta magic intensified, which is going to be part of this build. This will be a very nice spell for you to start off with. That's why we're going that one. And Lebeda, just to point this one out, this one has a lot of free shit. Notice all the free shit that's in here. None of this is applicable to you. This one might be, only in that it's a sensei performance. Makes me think that it's only for monks, the sensei in particular. They get a performance ability very similar to a bard. I have yet to try this, and it's only 4 extra uses a day. But for the Thundercaller build, I will check it to make sure that it doesn't work, because if it does, that's 4 more of those 9d8 spell damages a day. Remember, we treat performances, rounds of performance, as spells per day for the use of that ability. So that's 4 big smacks in a day, if that works, but not for you. That's why, again, we're going back to Ladavka and getting that kick-ass snowball stuff. Now, from there, I want to get you a combat trait, and we're going to get myself Blade of the Society. I love my sneak attack damage. It's only 1d6 plus 1, but this bard, all bards for that matter, have the ability to cast Sense of Vitals at level 2 spell casting. That's going to be at level 4 that you can pick that up. That level 2 spell, Sense Vitals, allows you to build your sneak attack ability all the way up to 5d6 plus this 1d6. So that's 6d6 plus 6 damage as well. So that's damn near like saying I'm giving you 76 of damage at the end of this build with your sneak attack ability. And that's amazing. That's a nice screw you. And that's not just with your weapons. Well, actually it is with your weapons. But Snowball. Snowball will work for sneak attack because, again, it's a to-hit check. Another reason we wanted Snowball. So I knew there was a reason. So there's another reason that we wanted this ability, and that's awesome. Now, for the last one, we have a laundry list of ones that we're going to pick from. And we are, by the way, going to pick up, just so you show you here, with this mod, you can also get additional traits. Not right now. We're going to pick that up at like 11 or 13. But this will give us 3 more traits. So again, if there's something in here that you're like, oh, but I would have grabbed this. Me too. We're going to get it later, probably. But know that there's some other really good stuff in here. For example, for Faith, know that we eventually are going to pick up Planar Savant, Knowledge Arcana, to make your Knowledge Arcana amazing. This uses your Charisma now instead of your Intelligence bonus to make knowledge checks for this particular one, or this one. This is the one I decided to specialize in. We're not using that one though right now. Another thing we can grab is your magic one. So magic trait, magical lineage allows us to pick a spell and make it awesome. I'll explain that later because we're not grabbing that now. Same with regional. We can grab this one, and that's A, move faster, which is still viable, or B, in my case, Meta Magic Master, get another spell that we're making awesome. Again, we will do this, but later, so not right now. So what does that leave us? That leaves us social. Notice that we can do adopted. There's a laundry list of shit in here, and I can't tell you if there's something that's like overly better than another. I do know that you are a dex-based character, and I kind of do like Ever Wary. For when people like to catch you flat-footed, this shit sucks. You're still flat-footed. Normally it would take all your dex bonus away. In this particular instance, you at least get to keep half. You're still flat-footed, but your dex isn't in the toilet. And you're not a massive dex character, so this is less likely to be cool to me. So again, if that's not what I'm grabbing, what else am I grabbing? Nothing in here except for possibly, again, Maestro of the City. More performances a day. It's only 3. More important on the Thundercaller build, because that's like 3 spells a day, remember? So that would be cool, but we're not going to do that for this build. What then are we going to do? If we're not going to do one of these adopted social traits, we already have regional, we're going to get that later. Race trait, we can't do the race traits if we're going to do social traits later for adopted. Be clear on that. So then we already had faith trait, magic, race, regional, and social left out. So the only thing that's left then is equipment trait. Now, normally I would give you a family heirloom and weapon. Okay, this is awesome. This is a +1 to your swing, and they give you a magic weapon at startup, which is awesome. But look at the weapon list. There's nothing in here that you want that's ranged. Remember, you can't use a composite longbow. You're a halfling, and they don't give you longbow skill. They give you short bow skill. They give you composite longbows in here. They give you longbows in here. Hand crossbows, which don't even exist in this game. They give you like a couple cheap ones, and there's no way to get better ones. And then you basically get screwed. The only other ranged weapon that's in here, besides your longbow, is shurikens. And again, those don't exist in the game. They give you some cheap ones at the beginning, and then that's it. You can't find more. So fuck that. That's dumb. Well, I can pick some of this other stuff. You can have skill with longsword and rapier, and some other stuff I'm sure that's in here, like short sword and daggers and shit like that. But again, you're not a meleeer. You're casting spells that damage at range, right? So we're not going to melee, so to speak. We're keeping that ranged. Well, then we're not grabbing family heirloom. We don't need iron liver. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to get a little bonus, but we really don't care. Well-provisioned adventure then is here. As weird as it is to say, this is not the worst thing ever. This gives you free shit. And I can't tell you what the right answer is for here, but I know me. I like the corporeal warrior. It gives you a lot of really cool stuff. Cure Light Wounds, which you can use as a bard immediately. Mage Armor, which you can't use, but again, with Use Magic Device, we can unlock that pretty easy. You get some weapons like a heavy crossbow, which you'll appreciate. You get a cool wand, 1 use a day only, but it replenishes itself every day, and it summons a murder pony, which is just all kinds of funny, and I think you'll actually appreciate that. So that's the one we're going to go with here. But you can pick whatever you want from this list. I would steer you, though, away from the team package. It's kind of lame. Everything else, though, is pretty solid. Just, right-click it and read it and find out what it gives you down here. Notice that the stuff that says, like, and paper to write on, that means nothing. That's just garbage. Okay? Over here, now, as far as our traits or feats are concerned, notice you only get 1 because you're not a human. But we can get 2, and we are, by making ourselves vulnerable to a specific type of spell. We're going to make you vulnerable to abjuration, and therefore also weak against cold. As long as you have immunity to cold spells or abilities and gear, this will not be a problem. And the abjuration save penalty, there's only a few abjuration spells in the game. So this is not that much of a problem. An alternative for this one, just so we're clear, could have been frail or peg-leg. Peg-leg makes you even slower. Can't imagine that'd be a good idea. And frail makes you weak as far as HP is concerned. Now, if you were undead, remember you have the ability to do that, right? You could pick this one and I wouldn't be upset, because we're going to make sure that even though you have low HP thanks to being frail, you're going to have a lot of HP thanks to you having a high charisma stat. Remember, undead get HP based on their charisma. So this would not be the worst one ever, but not for this build that I'm going with today. The reason we picked one of these, though, is because 1 penalty feat gives you 2 feats total. So now we can grab point blank shot and precise shot right off the bat. And remember, that works not only with your crossbow that you're going to start off with, also works with your snowball spell that you just picked up for free. Remember? See it right there waiting for you. Now, spells. Know that for your level 1 spells, you can pick 6 of these. Okay, not counting snowball, and also not counting the free spell you're getting called Burning Hands, which isn't in here yet. Shows up at level 8, which is why we're going 8 levels in before we go Dragon Disciple. I'll explain that later. But here, again, I recommend spells that are evocation. That's going to be your bread and butter damaging spells. So look for any damaging spell first. Notice that with this mod at least, I don't know if this is something that's baked into the original version of the game anymore, or if it's only because of the Eldritch Arcana Mod that I'm using, but we can sub spells out later. You basically pick a spell like Sleep, that's awesome now, and something like Sleep that's awesome now, but rapidly you'll lose favor with it because it won't work anymore. Eventually they'll give you the option of saying, hey, do you want to recycle a spell out and get a different one? Yes. So feel free to pick up some spells that you haven't tried yet and say, hey, is Cause Fear any good? Yes, it is, for many, many levels. And then eventually they get to the point where they're immune to it. Doesn't matter how hard you try, they will be immune to this spell. So sub it out. I like Sleep. Why do I like Sleep? Because it is an amazing spell and it's teammate friendly. Lasts for a good long while. It's a save or suck spell. Nothing you knew about that. But if they fall asleep, it's fucking obvious that they're sleeping. You can have any teammate at that point walk the fuck over to them and do what's called a coup de grace, which means guaranteed crit. I suggest Amiri. She loves doing it. It's an amazing spell. And again, once it becomes less amazing, we'll sub it out for something else. When you sub it out, what happens is you recycle this spell, and then they say, hey, do you want another level 1 spell? Yes, and Sleep will still be on the list. Don't repick it. That'd be stupid. Pick something else, but there's other ones that I will direct you towards. But I do know that early levels, this is powerful. Now, I'm just going to call you Hot Paints. I don't know what else to call you. Alignment. There is gear that's alignment specific, whether you're lawful or chaotic, or whether you're good versus evil, whether you're true neutral. I'm recommending you actually play an evil character here. Now, what kind of evil, that's on you. But I'm recommending evil, and I'll show you why, because it has to do with your spells at the end of the build, and there's a reason for this. So I'm going to play a lawful evil character just to be an evil biatch. And she is clearly evil. I'm going to move back here real quick just to show you what the character looks like at level 1, as well as to force level her up to all the way to 20. So we need to go to character creation. Come on. What the hell, guys? There we go. Come down here. Change that 1 to a 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros in a row. click on the name of your character, and now they're guaranteed to be level 20. Okay, you can't go past 20. There is a way to do it, but it's another mod, and it kind of breaks the game, so I would recommend not doing it. Oh, wait, go back. Sorry. I wanted to show you what the character looked like at level 1. Okay HP, decent dexterity. Again, you have a ranged weapon. They give you a light crossbow right off the bat, just to show you. Here, actually, they give you a heavy crossbow right off the bat and all kinds of weird gear. So let's give you the heavy crossbow because it does more damage. Still got a +4 to your swing. And notice because of size, you get not a bonus to your swing, but you also get a bonus to your armor. You got nice dexterity. You're wearing medium or light armor anyway, and that's all you can wear, but you can cast every spell under the sun that you have access to, even while wearing that light armor. That's chain shirt, studded leather, or padded. And there's a variety of choices, and there's even one chainmail shirt or chainmail armor out there that is considered light armor. I will show that to you. It is awesome. I'm not recommending it, but I'll show you why. Here's your murder pony. Summon Monster Zero. For those of you that know what this is awesome. For those of you that don't, this is fucking hilarious, and I want to show you. Murder Pony is a once-a-day use. Only lasts for a minute. There's your Murder Pony. It goes and attacks for you. It's a little monster. It is funny as hell. And the Murder Pony, for those of you that didn't know, when the game was in alpha, or early beta, this was the summon spell that they had access to. And a lot of people were using the Murder Ponies to go around killing things, just to fight some fights and to see what the game had to offer. And I thought that was some funny shit. The fact that they brought that back, I thought that was pretty fucking cool. And again, it's a reusable wand. Once a day, you take a knee that comes back. So again, it's a pretty badass little thing to have at level 1, I thought. So what the hell? And it's an extra body out on the battlefield too. Plenty of reasons to want that little guy. Now let's get into actually leveling your character though, shall we? Again, we're taking you 8 levels in, and that's so we can unlock this. The next 4 levels, 9, 10, 11, 12, will be Dragon Disciple. And then from 13 to 20 will be Bard again. Okay, or Flame Dancer to be specific. Now, we're going to go here, Perception. Or actually, sorry, take that back. We're going to unlock everything that we want to unlock first. Remember, these ones are not being touched. Normally I would. We're not doing that now. So at this point, I can do Perception, and I recommend Trickery. And I do recommend when playing this game, if this is your main character, which it should be, you want to have XP share off for the team. So again, if you're doing the skill check, which is why I'm giving you these skills, if you do the skill check, you get the XP by yourself. That means you will outlevel the content and outlevel the people on your party. And you want to shut off the XP share for people that aren't even in the party, which means you keep your party to less than 6 people. That means the people that are on the party will level up faster than everybody else. Again, that's fine. They'll catch up. Don't worry about that. But it doesn't ensure that your main character is a badass. And I like being the badass. So here's a way of doing that. But again, that's why trickery is important for us, even if it's only in the first couple chapters. From here, notice that combat trick is going to be a staple for us. It's not the only thing we'll grab from here, but it's one of the biggies. I am going to recommend, so we've got our point blank shot and precise shot, which gives us everything we wanted to do. If you wanted something else that could be interesting here, we could grab ourselves, where's that, rapid shot to give you an extra arrow. That's at level 2. A crossbow bolt, excuse me. That's at level 2. You're shooting twice. Pop, pop. That's not bad. We're not doing that yet. We're going to get there. I'm actually going to give you martial weapon proficiency. You may say, why? We already have skill in the weapon we got, and crossbows are good, short bows are decent, and there's plenty of short bows in the game. So why do this? There is a reason behind the madness. I will show you why here in a mo. Martial weapon proficiency, though, is key, and I'll explain here as soon as we get out level 2. Now we get to pick another spell. Again, spell-wise, I recommend stuff like Unbreakable Heart's good. Notice that this spell does this is actually better than Remove Fear and worse all at the same time. Remove Fear has a longer duration, but only protects from fear. Unbreakable Heart protects from fear and all kinds of other mind-affecting things like negative emotion, things like crushing despair, rage, confusion, and just like Remove Fear, if you're already under those effects, this will negate the effect during the duration. What does that mean? If I forget to cast this on you, and notice this is also AoE, this is single target, but let's say you get confused, okay, something that I don't want because you could be shooting me in the face, and I don't want that. So what do? I can cast Unbreakable Heart on you after the fact, and during the duration of you being confused, so long as this is still running, you're no longer confused. It basically negates the penalty. If I cast it ahead of time and buff you or me or someone else, right, what happens is you get a bonus to your save against those things. That doesn't negate it, it just gives you a bonus to your check. I'd almost rather use it to negate it, and that's why I like this one. This one will do the same thing. It's a bonus to your saves against fear, or if you're already under the effects of fear, it'll take it away, but only fear effects. This one covers more than that, and again, it's only single person. Also, notice something else. If I'm confused, as the main character, I get confused. Confusion doesn't mean that you are confused permanently. What I mean is, there's a table every round that it rolls on, and in 1 through 25 on a table of 1 through 100, when you're under the confusion effect, you actually can behave and control yourself. Only for that round. The very next round, you might not be controllable. You might be standing there, you might cut yourself, you might shoot the closest target. Well, I don't want that. So if I ever get control of myself again, I can cast this on me, and guess what? Now I'm no longer confused. You see what we did there? This is a solid spell. Not picking it now, I'm just suggesting that this is one that I like. I also like Grease. I also like Hideous Laughter. I also like be able to run fast, so Expeditious Retreat for a short-ass halfling. 30 extra feet around is a solid upgrade. We could also go with things like Flare Burst, because it's going to be an evocation spell, something you care about. We could always go with Cure Light Wounds. You're not necessarily the cleric of the party, but it never hurts to have someone else early on that can heal. But know that, again, we are slopping out a sleep spell. I would not try to load up on stuff like Cause Fear and say, oh, I'll just sub that out later, because then you got to also sub out Sleep too. So now we have 2 spells to sub out. That's not ideal. It'll happen from time to time, but don't get crazy with it. So I go with stuff that I know that's going to be useful, like Hideous Laughter. A solid enchantment, and by the way, bards are really good at illusion and enchantments, a lot of them. There's an okay amount of evocation spells. There's a lot of conjuration spells, and not counting Snowball, of course, but it is a conjuration spell, by the way. And the reason there's so many conjuration spells is because A, heals are conjuration, and so are your summon monster spells, and you have access to those at every goddamn level. So that's 12 spells right there. 6 summon monster spells and 6 cure spells by the end of the build. You could have, not saying you're going to do that. Just saying that there's a decent smattering of stuff for a bard. They're all over the place. There's very little in the way of transmutation, though, I will say. But I'm cool with Hideous Laughter, and again, it locks up a target, and again, will be used from start to finish in the game. Level 20, this still is a viable spell. Now, backing out just for a minute. Remember I said that martial weapon was going to be important? Let me show you why it's going to be important. This is the trick that you will not tell anybody, and I'm swearing you to secrecy. Come down here to your items. We're going to gift you a weapon that is specific for halflings. Halflings, I'm sorry, am I getting this right? Sling staff? Yeah. Halflings can use sling staffs if they have martial weapon proficiency. Everyone else needs it to be exotic weapons. This is something that they don't tell you, but it is implied when you read it, and it says this is a sling staff for a halfling. Dark Bidding. That's a faux shard for some reason. It's got sling staff listed in here, but it's not. It's a fauchard. I'll grab it just to prove to myself that it is a fauchard, because it could be a typo. You never know. And then you notice that there's different sling staffs in the game. Flaming, shocking, corrosive, blah, blah, blah. But the named one, the arsonist sling staff, is the one you really want here. And I'm going to type sling staff with a space, because it'll actually open up different ones. So notice we got Avalanche now, Carefree Hunter, anything else? Vengeance of the Meek. Solid sling staff. Okay, so that's plenty of choices right for you right now. I want you to see why sling staffs are cool. So first, let's slot in Vengeance of the Meek. Here is our Carefree Hunter, Avalanche, and then the Fire one. In reverse order, Vengeance of the Meek, not particularly impressive, but it is a +2 weapon. Notice that all sling staffs are going to have 3 times the damage, and this is your only ranged weapon in the game, by the way, that does blunt damage, or bludgeoning damage, okay? So this is cool, and I kind of dig that. And it is a halfling weapon. They all are. It is a strength-based weapon. You'll see it says that. So here, what that means is it uses dexterity to hit the target, but it uses your strength modifier, which right now is crap, to do extra damage, because you're chucking it harder, if that makes sense, okay? So Dragon Disciple 4 levels will get you a strength of 14. That's a +2 here. That's not amazing, but it's a free 4 strength bonus. And of course, you're going to use gear to buff your strength besides anyway, aren't you? So this is a nice weapon for you to have. And again, you want to keep it ranged. There's other reasons to go this route. Notice it is a giant bane weapon. That means against giant types, that includes trolls, by the way, it is a +2 better weapon. So instead of +2, it's +4. And then for every smack, it does another 2d6 of extra damage to that type of bad guy. That's not amazing, but it's still a solid upgrade. Then we have Carefree Hunter, and I like this one for a couple reasons. One, bonus to mobility, and a luck bonus no less. So not like a morale bonus or something that you can get any other way, because they don't stack. Because this is a luck bonus, it'll stack with other things that aren't luck bonuses. So your mobility can actually be pretty good. All you gotta do is have this thing in your little fisties. It's a +2 weapon. Notice it even says halfling sling staff, but all of them are. And again, it's still a strength weapon, and that's really about it. But notice something else. +2 to dexterity, but not just +2. +2 morale bonus to dexterity, which means if I give you a Cat's Grace spell or a belt of dexterity +8, which we can do, this will stack. That's cool. That's extra armor, extra swing, extra reflexes. There's a lot of plus here from just having this thing, again, in your little fisties. Then we have this one. It is the Avalanche. Does some cold damage into it as well as a little elemental damage besides, and it's +3 now. That's an upgrade. And it's a morale bonus to damage +2, so again, even higher damage over here. You saw that. It's not amazing, but it's there. We'll take it. Then once a day, you can cast a spell you couldn't cast before, called Stone Call. It's not my favorite spell ever, but it's free, and hell, I'll take it. And if anything, I like the fact that it does cold damage, and that it's a +3 weapon. But then here's the real reason we went this way. Remember, we were our Fire Dancer, or Flame Dancer, whatever the hell it's called. This bastard here is awesome. Look at this. +4, strength, still, it's on fire, so it's flaming and flame burst, which means it does flame damage on a hit, but on a crit, it does, in this case, with a ×3 multiplier, which is what it is. See that? The ×3 multiplier, this thing should do 2d10 of fire damage on a spike of critting. It doesn't crit that often. These are all crit on a natural 20. We'll get improved critical, so it crits on a 19 or 20, but that's it. It's not going to crit very much, but when it does, whew, baby. But it's more to it than just the fact that it sets shit on fire and that it's a +4 weapon. Read this descriptor. Spell that you cast with the fire descriptor in it deals 1 more point of damage per die. Remember, you got 3 spells at least that are coming your way. Burning Hands, Burning Arc, and Fireball for free, right? 5d4 damage for Burning Hands can be 5d4 +5. Burning Arc is 10d6, can be 10d6 +10. Same with Fireball, okay? And that's AoE style, right? And of course you have Fireball with your Shadow Evocation spell. That's still an illusion, but it's still considered fire damage. It works on that too. And while that's nice, it's not amazing, those 4-level dip of Dragon Disciple, that's going to give you another +1 point of damage per fire spell. So now you're up to +2. So take that Burning Hands that did 5d4 of damage, now it's 5d4 +10. And we can intensify that spell, making it 10d4. That would be 10d4 +20. Then there's a necklace that does the same thing for fire spells. Then there's a robe that does the same thing for fire spells. I can get you up to +4 damage per die of your fire spells. And not just fire. I can do it 2 points for cold, 2 points for acid, 2 points for electric. And then while you don't have acid spells, and you only have like 1 electric spell, Lightning Bolt, and that comes from your Shadow Evocation, you do have a cold spell. Remember here, Snowball? That's 5d4 damage. 5d6 of damage that I can turn into 5d6 +10. Then, if I intensify it, it goes 10d6 +20. Minimum damage of 30, and there's no spell resistance on that spell. That's why I think you're going to like this build. Shh, don't tell anybody. Let's get back to leveling up. Bard, you have a little song that allows you to protect you and the team from fire. 10 points of damage absorbed every round, so long as the song is going. Again, I wanted to get your trickery up. How many words am I going to invest in trickery? 4. Mobility is also going to go to 3, and it's done now, so I'm not going to touch it again. Notice that to get the Dragon Disciple, you need to have Knowledge Arcana up to 5 by the time you start it. We got plenty of time, but I do want to get it up, so I don't forget, okay? Now, for level 3, we got our martial weapon proficiency. Remember that rapid shot we were talking about not too long ago? You wanted it, didn't you? That works for any ranged weapon. That includes the sling staff. So now you're up to 2 attacks with that damn thing. Yes, you got a little bit of a penalty, but you got spells that are going to buff you as well, and you got a nice little song that buffs you as well. So you're doing fine. So don't feel bad about turning that thing on and leaving it on from start to finish. Level 1 spell, again, we already told you what we liked. I'm going to grab Grease. Again, another spell that's amazing from start to finish. And again, it doesn't really matter for you because you'll finish with a caster level of 19 by the end of this build. But I do like spells that have no spell resistance. Just like Snowball, Grease is another amazing spell for this reason alone. Nice. Finally unlocking level 2 spells. And every time you unlock a new level of spells, which in this case is at level 4, the next one will be at 7, the next one will be normally at 10, it's actually going to be pushed back to 11. I'll explain why later. But every time you unlock a new level of spell, the very next level will be when the game offers you the ability to recycle out a spell. So at level 5, we can recycle out that sleep spell. That's perfect timing for us because at this point it's useless to us, or should be real close to be. So here's our Bard level 2 spells. Charisma, always Charisma. And again, notice your spells a day goes from 4 to 5 here. And then we're going to get bonuses to our Persuasion and Use Magic Device as a result of this as well. I want Trickery up to 4, yes. Mobility and Trickery are now done. Get that Arcana up to 4. And now I'm going to start working on Athletics, because why not? Level 2 spells, we get to pick 6 from this list. And again, not counting our Burning Arc, which we get for free. Suggestions that I have for you include, we're going to grab it right now, Sense Vitals. This is your sneak attack spell. We're also going to get things like Blur, so I'm just going to grab it now. Other things that we like are Mirror Image, nice protection for you. Glitter Dust, this one here is amazing. Also no spell resistance, remember my favorite reason for liking those. I also like Sound Burst. It's not an amazing damaging spell, but it's still solid, and it's AoE. It's not teammate friendly, so be careful. But I do like that it stuns it for 1 round AoE style. Maybe they all make the check, maybe they don't, but who knows. It's just a solid spell. And then pick something else. We'll get like Heroism, Hold Person, Delay Poison is a solid choice. And on those Heroism and Hold Persons, these are good choices. Matter of fact, instead of Blur, I'm going to grab Heroism now. And the reason I'm going to grab it now is because we will respec out of Heroism. There's a better spell coming later, Greater Heroism. We'll respec out of Heroism because of that. Same with Hold Person. I can grab that now. Not going to, but we could. And we'll get it probably next level. And we will respec out of it. Because again, we'll get Hold Monster. We don't need the lesser version of the spell. See that? But this is a nice bonus to your swing, or anyone on your team for that matter. Excuse me, I need a little coffee here. My throat's getting scratchy. Keep going, Bard. Keep pushing that Perception, and now Arcana is up. And if you ever forget what you need for Dragon Disciple, you can always go back to class, scroll down and look at it. Say, what do I need? Oh, look, I have everything now unlocked just because just at this level I gave enough Arcana to get to where I need to go. And now we're good to go. Again, we're pushing it back to level 8, so we won't start Dragon Disciple till 9. But we have unlocked it officially at this point. So we're good to go. And then I'm going to start pushing stuff like probably some Persuasion, Use Magic Device, and Athletics every now and again. For here, replace spell, Sleep. Always check. Even if you're certain that you have everything that you want, I always click this, look through the list slowly and say, no, I don't need that anymore. Click it, and now you'll have another level 1 spell pick at this level. Whether you had it or not, it'll be waiting for you now. Here, feat-wise, Lingering Performance is a nice pick. I'm not going to grab it, but it is a solid choice. This is the one that extends your song for 2 rounds after. This is something that routinely people will turn their song on and shut it right back off again. The buff lasts for that round, the next round, and the round after that. That's a really good use of your bardic abilities. So Lingering Performance is nice. It's not necessary for me, and usually I forget to use my goddamn songs, quite frankly. So I kind of let that one slide. Instead, though, I like things like Rapid Shot we already grabbed. I like Deadly Aim. Now, maybe you can't afford Deadly Aim right now. You're at a penalty to your swing. But remember, we just picked up a spell called Heroism. That's a +2 to your swing. So you can counter the Rapid Shot penalty you have right now, so why not give yourself Deadly Aim for more damage? Again, up to you. If you don't like that one, another thing we are going to grab is Arcane Strike. Feel free to grab that right now. That's all plus, no minus. By the end of this build, you'll either be at a +5 or a +4. That's a solid damage bump, and it's just a toggle that you turn on and off. You just make sure to leave it on. Here's your level 1 recycle spell. Again, Sleep is still sitting here. Don't grab it. Again, I recommend your Expeditious Retreat, Unbreakable Heart. We're going to grab that now. I could also grab Flare Burst. There's still decent choices to grab is my point. Level 2, I think it's time for you to grab Blur. Some honorable mentions that I didn't point out to you here though. I do like Hypnotic Pattern. You out-level the usefulness of this quite quickly. Maximum is 10 plus 2 to 8, so 12 to 18. So this will last for a good long while, but much like your sleep spell, you're going to want to cycle it out. Instead of it though, I'd rather have, say, Hold Person. A nice paralysis spell, and remember, if you're paralyzed, Sneak Attack, baby. Sense Vitals works beautifully. They have no dexterity. That is the definition of flat-footed. No dex. And that's an amazing spell. Again, we will cycle it out later. Keep going, Bard. Bonus to your song again, another bardic talent. And now you can fascinate people with your song. And while you may not think this is powerful, try to remember, if they are fascinated, they stand there just staring at the pretty slideshow, basically, until they take damage. That means I can do this AoE to a whole fucking room of bad guys and let my team beat everyone's ass single file. Like, oh, let's all kick this guy's ass. He's dead. Everyone else is just standing there going, And then you go kick that guy's ass. And then you go kick that guy's ass. And then you get the idea. So this is actually a very cool song. I just routinely forget as a bard to use it, which is my fault, not yours. Now we have everything we need for Arcana. We can let it go along the way if we want to catch something up like, say, Athletics. Athletics was going to go all the way up to 10, so we might as well invest in it now. And I'm going to start putting some more into Persuasion because you do have a kingdom to rule at this level or real close to this point. Bard Talent, Combat Trick again. Remember that Deadly Aim? I think it's time. Level 2. I'm going to get that Blur spell. I want to be able to be protected. Remember, you're in the back ranks doesn't mean they're not going to get shot at. So Blur, Mirror Image, Displacement, Greater Invis, all that shit is going to be stuff you want. Nice bonus to your damage. More Bard. Now we have, you can use our songs. This is the reason, by the way, I forget to use my songs. If you use your songs up until this point, your songs take a full turn for you to activate. It means you can't attack. You sing a song, and that's your turn. You get to move, I think, too, but that's it. At this point, instead of moving, I can sing a song and shoot you, or cast a spell. You get the idea. This is now a viable bard, in my opinion. And this is why I forget to use my songs, because of crap like this. So this now makes us useful. Later on, it's going to be where it's a swift action, which means, poof, we kick out a song like immediately, and we get to move and shoot. So it's run and gun and singing a song all at the same time. It's fucking sweet. So again, we will get all that stuff later. Get that Perception up. Let's get that Athletics up. Let's get some more Persuasion. Yeah. Now, what to grab here? You're actually high enough level that the only thing that I really feel like I'm missing for my weapon is I'm missing Improved Critical for the weapon, which we can grab, I think, now, or real close to now. And we can also get Clustered Shots, which I don't think we have access to yet either. It's coming, so I'm not worried about it. It's going to be down the road. So at this point, I suggest Meta Magic. Which one? Well, for you that are playing this game unmodded, Extended is the one that I would pick for you. We're going to get it, but we're not getting that one right now. I'm going to get Intensified, and we'll get Extend later. This is not available in the vanilla version of the game. This is why you need this mod. But this is the one that takes your Snowball to a level of awesomeness. Same with your Fireball, your Burning Hands, your Burning Arc. All kinds of cool spells are going to get buffed from this little bastard. And this is an amazing upgrade for you. From here, level 1 spell, what do we have left? I have Grease, Ear Piercing Scream. It's probably going to be either Flare Burst or Cure Light Wounds. And Expeditious Retreat. I want that Expeditious Retreat. Level 3. Level 3 spells, again, you get to pick 6 from this list. Again, not counting your free Fireball spell. I recommend the following. There's one called Good Hope. And there's another one called Overwhelming Grief. Other ones that I like in this list are Crushing Despair. I like, of course, Deep Slumber, another sleep spell. We're getting ready to get rid of sleep, or we just did. We could get the upgraded version of it. It won't last you long, but it will last you longer than sleep did. 4 HD was when it pooped out. Now we're up to 10 HD. And again, it's the same spell, nothing different. So you know how to use it. It's teammate friendly, cast it on the mob, people go nappy nap bye-bye time, kill everyone that's awake. before the guys wake up from being slept and they got a long time of taking a nap. You walk over and coup de grace the motherfucker. So again, you will enjoy having deep slumber. It's a solid spell that we will cycle out later. That's fine. Other stuff on this list, like displacement is good, fear is decent, probably won't grab it, but I do like it. Displacement's good, probably will grab it last. Haste is great, for obvious reasons. Overwhelming grief we already mentioned, and I subbed it back out here just to show this one to you, but I maintain this as a solid choice because it's AoE. But look at this spell. This one is another awesome spell. It is a single target save or suck spell. Each round they get to make a save, no less, which really sucks. But if they fail, -2 to their armor, lose their dexterity bonus if any. This is the definition again of being flat-footed. Remember your sneak attack? And maybe you got other people on the team that want to sneak attack. Lock somebody down with this little bastard. They're not helpless. That's why they have a penalty to armor. It's not hold person, hold monster, but it's the equivalent, damn near. Because they can't attack you, and they just stand there, oh, and you get to sneak attack them until they wake up from the effect, which means, again, pass their save, which means you can sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack. They can attempt a new save each round to break the spell effect, though. That's the bummer. And again, on a nat 20, doesn't matter how good the DC check was, they will pass it. So that sucks. But it's a solid spell. And there's another one we're going to get later on. That's Overwhelming Presence. That's AoE version of this spell, which is baller. Slow's a great spell, though. Summon monsters now. And at this point, at level 3 on up, there are good summon spells. I don't care about them yet. Level 5 and 6, I will actually suddenly give a shit. And also, here's another damaging spell for you, Thundering Drums. Again, worth picking up. I'm not suggesting it right now, but we will grab it. Now we're level 8, and this is where we get our fire spells for free. Keep going Charisma, always Charisma. Athletics, we're taking that to 10, is that correct? Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to start getting Persuasion up and use Magic Device. Persuasion is also going to 20, yes. So is Perception, yes. And once Athletics gets to 10, we'll start pushing extra ones into Knowledge Arcana, this guy here, and getting Use Magic Device to get caught up. Okay. Check your spells. Anything we're cycling out, keeping it. Got to get rid of that one eventually. Might as well get rid of it now. Sad to say, but we have other options, and Hold Person, while useful, you want to cycle them out if you have a chance. So the level 2 spell we'll use to replace that. Instead of Hold Person, I do like my Glitter Dust. I like my Sound Burst. This, by the way, is the weakest version of that Thunder Call ability you'll have with the other build. The 1d8 damage, chance to stun for 1 round, AoE, not friendly for the team. But this is the one that steadily gets better for you. It goes 1d8, 3d8, 5d8, 7d8, finishes by the end of the build at 9d8 of damage, and all it takes is 1 round of Bardic Performance to cast it. Boom! Amazing. This one, not so much. Still useful. Level 3. Let's grab ourselves, do we want haste now? Extra attack around, baby, move faster, all that jazz, and more reflexes. Maybe you want Thundering Drums to get some more AoE damage, but you just picked up Fireball, Burning Arc, and Burning Hand, so maybe we can hold off on that one for now. So let's grab that haste. Okay. Now that you got your fire spells, this is why we waited. I want you to go Dragon Disciple, 4 levels. Why did I wait this long? This is your first chance of getting fire spells, and I want you to see something. Notice you don't get as many skill points when you do Dragon Disciple. That's why we don't really want to go heavy into Dragon Disciple as well. One reason is we're going to get all kinds of cool shit like armor and certainly strength. But we get other stuff besides. One, we have to pick a Draconic Bloodline. I recommend either Brass Dragon, Gold Dragon, or Red Dragon. Up to you. You're evil, so Red Dragon makes sense, but that doesn't matter. If you like the look of the Gold Dragon, go Gold. But know something. We have a breath weapon coming our way. You don't get to use it a lot, but you get it like twice a day. And it's a spell like, or a supernatural ability, which is fucking tits. But Brass Dragons shoot fire in a cone, or a beam, like a lightning bolt spell. Gold Dragons and Red Dragons shoot it in a cone. So if you're not used to shooting a beam, you want gold or you want red. Okay, I'm just going to go with red. Another reason you like this is you actually do more damage with your fire spells. You see that? That stacks with the staff. And then we'll get a necklace that does it, and we'll get a robe that does it. So you'll get a +4 to your damage with your fire spells per die. Again, a fireball spell doing 10d6 can do 10d6 plus 40. That's a minimum of 50 damage if you roll all ones. AoE style. That's pretty fucking sweet. And if it's full strength, that 10d6, that could be 60 plus 40. That could be 100 damage AoE style. And we haven't intensified it yet, and we have the ability to do so. Remember, we picked that up. That would be, instead of 10d6, that'd be 15d6, and it's because it's 15 dice, 15d6 plus 60. That's going to be amazing. And again, I think you'll like it. Again, don't tell nobody. From here, you have to tell them what kind of caster you are. Notice at the first level of Dragon Disciple, at level 5 Dragon Disciple, and at level 9 Dragon Disciple, you do not get spell progression. It's another reason we only go 4 levels in. Okay, that's why we stop at 4. So we're losing spell progression. That's why you're going to finish at a 19, not a 20 for your spell casting ability. It's fine. Don't worry, you're fine. It's just going to suck a little bit. For here, we got our stuff. We got our clustered shots. Here are your clustered shots, baby. And again, we're getting it. We can also get improved critical. We're getting both of them. Just pick one. But this one here is if you have a tough target that you're wailing with that sling staff and they're just resisting a lot of the damage, not immune, but just they're not taking any. With every hit, you're just not hitting strong enough. It's because they have DR. This really trivializes those fights. Beautiful extra armor. That's natural armor. You can see it over here. See the natural armor? That's not natural armor enhancement. Like Bark Skin does natural armor enhancement. Amulet of natural armor is a natural armor enhancement. Those don't stack. This is the best one. Natural armor stacks. That's beautiful. And then of course we have the ability to grow claws now as a dragon. It's not amazing, but if you ever meleeed, you could rip someone's throat out, I suppose. Keep going, Dragon Disciple. Here's where we finally get our first strength bump. Notice we're up to 12 now. That +2 from racial ability is from Dragon Disciple. Athletics is done now at 10. Mobility's done. Trickery's done. Stealth is done. Now we're working on you and getting you guys up. So let's actually just get these guys going. We'll work on Arcana and also use Magic Device a little bit. Now you get 1 free feat to pick from here. Power Attack is one of the things we could have grabbed, but we're not strong enough to get it. So that sucks. But we didn't need Power Attack anyway. You're not meleeing. But there's good stuff in here. My suggestion to you is, pick a focus. Like, we could really go crazy into Knowledge Arcana. Like, this build, it could be nuts crazy for Knowledge Arcana. We don't have to. If you need initiative, here you go. You don't have much in the way of dex. You do have dex, but this is always a nice addition to your dex for initiative checks. I do like Blind Fight, though. It's free. The immunity to gaze attacks is amazing. And even though you don't melee so much, that doesn't mean they're not going to try to melee you. And that's a nice buff for you, in my opinion. Toughness is another option. Extra HP. It's appreciated. And again, kind of the counter of Frail. And if you grab Frail, I don't know that they'll let you grab Toughness, by the way. Because it's, I think, the exact opposite, quite frankly. But that'd be cool, because you could counter Frail then by grabbing this, I suppose. Level 3. I'm going to grab myself. I want those Thundering Drums. I really do. Notice you also get a Dragon Bite. There's stuff that they don't tell you until you get to the end here. You get a Dragon Bite. For you, because you're a small person, it's only 1d4 damage. And again, this is only melee. But it's free. And it does 1.5 times your strength modifier, which right now is not amazing. But when it gets to 14, there'll be +2. It'll be +3 damage. So it'll be 1d4 +3. If we went even farther with your Dragon Disciple, we could get to the point where you do fire damage with your bite, which is funny, but you're not going to go that high. Keep going, Dragon Disciple. Point, and now your turn. From here, we want the improved critical for your sling staff. Why? Because it only crits on a nat 20. Now it crits on a 19-20. We don't have to worry about it being keen, and I don't think there's a whole lot of keen ones in the game. A level 2 spell. Let's see, on this list, I did like Glitter Dust. I also like Mirror Image, though, for some extra protection. Level 4 new spells. I like, on this list, notice that you're going to get access to 5 of these spells that you get to pick from. I like Dimension Door. I also like Hold Monster. I like Greater Invis, which we're going to take because, again, your sneak attack. Freedom of Movement's useful. Dominate Person's fun. I like Rainbow Pattern. AoE team-friendly illusion spell. Important if you went gnome. Which, by the way, your Thundercaller is going to be a gnome. Just to ruin the surprise for you. That'll be the next build I do for you. But this one has a max HD of 24. That's a lot. This one will be good from start to finish. When you get it, you'll never not want this spell. AoE, and the targets just stand there. And your team just go over there and beat the shit out of them one at a time. Fucking amazing. And massive AoE too. I also like Serenity. It does damage. It's random as all hell. It's 3d6 only if they attack you. Again, teammate friendly. It's a weird spell though. I do like Shout, and I like Shout because while it's Sonic, and again you're a bard, you stream at things all the time, notice that many of your Sonic spells have no spell resistance. That's kind of a key feature here. And it's very useful. And again, it's lame damage, and it's a chance to stun for 1 round right here. But, yeah, whatever. It's not teammate friendly, so be careful on these ones. But I do like the teleporting around and the greater invisibility. Notice you're getting better dragon resistances, fire protection, and natural armor. Look over here. You have natural armor increase +1 and dragon resistances +1. You see that shit? It's fucking awesome, right? And that gets better the higher up we go. Here's your breath weapon. The type of dragon that you are is the type of breath weapon you get. So in this case, fire, and again, cone versus beam. That's why it was important to pick the one you wanted. You're only going to get like 2 uses a day of this. It's not amazing. And this spell, that's not true. You don't get that spell. Okay, this is a leftover because you're copying this from what sorcerers and magi would use. Again, they would get access to that. You don't. It's kind of a bummer, quite frankly, because I would like that spell. Level 4. Now we're done with this guy. More charisma, and again, check your spells. 7553 goes to 7653. So that's 1 more spell a day. Better charisma means better persuasion, better use magic device. We appreciate all those things. And again, Arcana's looking pretty damn sweet right now at a solid 16, dude. And that's because of your bardic knowledge, by the way. Another reason why we wanted to invest in Knowledge Arcana. Again, check your spells. Oh, here's Deep Slumber. We know for sure we want to get rid of that at some point. Anything else we want to get rid of? Hideous Laughter? No. Heroism, maybe. We got Good Hope now, and Good Hope is an AoE version of Heroism and then some. So we could get rid of Heroism now. Deep Slumber is definitely on the poop end of not being important anymore, because it only lasts for 10 HD, and you're at level 12 now. So it's probably time to retire that bastard. So that gives us another spell back at level 3. Level 1 spell, last one. Was it Cure Light Wounds, or was it Flare Burst? I think I'll take Flare Burst. Level 3, we got rid of our Deep Slumber. I like that Crushing Despair. Just so you know, this is an amazing AoE spell that's not team friendly. Massive penalty, it's the exact opposite of Good Hope. And it dispels it. Vice versa, Good Hope dispels Crushing Despair. So if someone hits you with this, Good Hope will make it go away. Level 4, I like Shout. I like damage. Always want to go damage if you can grab at least 1. Now we're done with Dragon Disciple, never touch it again. Bard all the way. Notice now we're getting our Kick-Ass Inspire Greatness ability. Yay us. Back to having a decent amount of skill points. Yay me. Gives us a chance to get that up really high. From here, really it's kind of what you want. We are missing 1 more meta magic, and we are missing the additional traits. So that's on you when you want to grab those. So I'm going to grab another meta magic, and it's going to be Extend. We'll get additional traits next. Let's see, level 4. I'm going to grab myself a whole box of spell. Nice paralysis spell. One Bard. More points, more points. Get you caught up. You are going all the way to 20, is that correct? Yep. From here, combat trick again. What do we have left on our list of things that I wanted to pick up? We got our Arcane Strike, yes. We got our Deadly Aim, yes. Clustered Shots, we picked that up not too long ago, yes. Proof Critical. I may have screwed myself. I think I did. Damn it. Should have wrote that down. Sorry. Let me explain. This improved critical, we could have grabbed that here. Should have done that. That's a bummer. I forgot about that. And then again, there's another one down here that's again. So we got nothing that we need. I suppose we'll grab something like, say, weapon focus. Many shot doesn't work on your sling staff. It only works for bows, in case you're wondering. So we'll get weapon focus for that sling staff, I suppose. That's a shame, because it messes up my build. But it's a better chance for you to hit, so I suppose you're not going to care all that much. Let's grab that displacement now. Level 5 spells, new level 5 spells. Again, from this list, you can pick 5 of them. And the ones I like are Kai Shout for a nice damage attack. I like my Shadow Evocation for obvious reasons. I also like Cloak of Dreams, Cacophonous Call, the massive version. That's an amazing teammate-friendly spell. Greater Heroism makes Heroism obsolete. Phantasmal Web is decent. Resonating Word is decent. Sonic Discord. There's no wrong answer on this list, with the exception of maybe Joyful Rapture is kind of weird. Same with Greater Dispel Magic, and your Mass Heals are kind of lame. Cloak of Dreams is nice, but it's not teammate-friendly. Your teammates can fall asleep at your feet. It's kind of weird. Going, Bard. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Finally got you caught up, and now we can start adding more to use Magic Device. Alright, first off, we're keeping all our spells. Good, good, good. Keep going, keep going. Heroism. Yep. We are going to grab what here? I need additional traits for sure. Physique drawback. Go hedonistic. Again, same principle. Penalties unless you're poor. Don't be poor. And at this point you shouldn't be. The 3 that we wanted to grab here, remember we had a magical trait. We wanted magical lineage. We wanted to pick a spell level 1 through 6 that's going to get a bonus with your meta magic feats. So which spell to grab? Well, you have a lot of good spells. I like Fireball still, even though it's a level 3 spell. It's a solid choice. I'm going to highlight it just for shits and giggles. But we could also grab regional trait Meta Magic Master, and it could also grab Fireball at level 3. See that? You already picked it, so there's no need to grab it again. But you could have it once here or here. That's fine. Keep Fireball. What level 4 or 5 spell, or even level 6 spell could be benefited from having this kick-ass thing? Well, how about we go to a level 5 spell that you just picked up called Shadow Evocation. Remember, there's a Fireball or a Lightning Bolt in there. So if you intensify that spell, it went from being a level 5 spell to a level 6. Well, that's cool, but did you really want to cast it at level 6? Probably not. You don't have many castings in a day. So if you make it Meta Magic Intensified, and this be the spell we pick here, a level 5 spell goes to 6 because of this. It goes back to being a level 5 spell again. That's awesome. We could do the same though instead of Fireball. We could do Snowball, and it would be awesome. Level 1 spell. Boom. Remember, you have that one. That's a nice spell. Remember, you want to have that thing do intensified, so 5d6 goes up to 10d6. Remember, there's no spell resistance behind that bastard. That's why you like Snowball. So it would be level 1, it'd be level 2 if you intensify it. Or, with this now, it's still back to being a level 1 spell. That's awesome. And remember, we're going to get gear that buffs that 10d6 to make it 10d6 plus 20. It's going to be a nice fuck you spell when you really want to punch something in the snoot. Just saying. Pretty nice. But again, some people like having the Snowball spell at level 1 and then the enhanced version, technically speaking, being at level 2. Nothing wrong with that. Go back to having Burning Hands, Burning Arc, Fireball, any of those work on your list. Other ones that stick out to me as being kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having something like, like I said, the fire spells we just mentioned. I wouldn't mind having Good Hope last longer, or Heroism last longer, and you may say, well, or Greater Heroism, last longer. And you may say, well, what do you care about that? Remember, we have 2 different meta magics. We have Extend and Intensify. This works for any of them. So, if we extend, remember that's a level 1 spell becomes a level 2 spell. But with this, a level 1 spell goes to 2. With this trait, it goes back to being level 1. That could be any spell. Only one spell, so we got to be real choosy here. Again, I do like the Shadow Evocation and I do like the Snowball. But again, there's all kinds of ways you could have done this, is my point. From here, go to your Faith trait, Planar Savant. Remember our Knowledge Arcana. This is the one that uses your Knowledge Arcana, or your Charisma modifier for Knowledge Arcana now instead of Intelligence. Remember our skills, +2 versus +6, and this is going to be +7 before we're done. And we're going to make sure to buff Charisma. Intelligence too, but really it's Charisma we give a shit about. So if this is the only thing you buff, you're buffing yourself in the right direction. And look at this buff. You're up to 24 here. It's actually not true. Read it over here. We're at 30 right now for your Knowledge Arcana. You're a brainy, smart pants motherfucker on the team right now. For Knowledge Arcana's sake, anyway. Solid upgrade. Here's your recycled level 2 spell. What are you going to grab? Hypnotic Pattern, like I said, is still useful. Oh, Glitter Dust. There it is. Missing my Glitter Dust. Love me some Glitter Dust. Another level 2 spell. Okay, we can grab that Cacophonous Call if you want. It's just one guy. Maybe Delay Poison is your thing. Nothing wrong with being immune to poison. If someone else on the team is going to cast it, though, you don't need it. I do like that Hypnotic Pattern. And again, while you may say, well, this isn't going to be very strong, is it? Remember, it's 2d4 plus your caster level, max 10. And that might mean you can intensify that little fucker. So that could be 10 going up to 15. Maybe. I don't know. We haven't tested it. But 2d4, that's a minimum of 2, maximum of 8, plus 10. That could, if that's what I'm understanding, that would be 2 to 10, it'd be 12. If it's 2d4, max caster level, this total equals 10, that sucks. So don't grab this one. But I don't know that. And I've never tested it, so let's find out. And again, it is teammate friendly, and I kind of dig that shit. Oh, level 5. I'm going to grab myself Greater Heroism. Want that buff. Plus 4 to all kinds of cool shit. Doesn't last long, 1 minute per caster level, but that's still plenty of time to do what you want. Going Bard. Going Charisma. Helping those things, and now use Magic Device, finally getting some sweet loving, and it's actually up to a 16 right now thanks to Jack of all trades. Level 5. I like Mind Fog. I like Phantasmal Web. That's an amazing spell. I like your summons, and again, remember I said that I mentioned the evil. Look at the summons. We got Dire Wolves, Lizards, and Red Caps if you're evil, you are, or Berlani Azada if you're not. So good or neutral, get these guys. These guys spam Lightning Bolt, and if you don't have protection from it, they don't care. They'll kill your team. But the Red Caps are just attackers, and they regenerate. They're those little goat beard bastards that go around with the big fucking scythes and chop everything down. And the level 6 version is money. And again, I could totally swap this power out later. I don't mind picking this up now just to have a summons, and then going later to swapping it out to get the level 6 version. That's on you. But I still maintain like Mind Fog, Phantasmal Web are solid choices. Pick one of those two. No wrong answer on those two. Notice you can use your songs to heal yourselves in your team AoE style now, which is kind of funny. From here at level 17, what we left with, I have... Oh, I wanted your spell focus. Almost forgot your spell focus. My bad. Evocation. Yes, please. From here, I like that rainbow pattern. Again, that's the Big Brother version of the one we just picked up, Hypnotic Pattern. Both illusion spells. This one, again, is limited. 2d4 plus 10, right? And this one here caps out at 24. So if the other one really does go up to 18, this goes up to 24. This is still awesome. And again, both of them are very, very good then. Level 6, here you get to pick only 4 spells. So you need to be real choosy here. But there's some good stuff in here. Let me walk you through ones that I like. Brilliant Inspiration is a very weird buff. If you know, if you've ever played D&D, and you know what advantage and disadvantage is, this spell gives you advantage for the duration of the spell for all your attacks, ability checks, like strength check, dex check, skill checks, that's athletics and whatever else, and literally you roll twice. You take the better of the 2 results. But notice the spell wears off early if at any time during that spell you roll a nat 20, poof, done. It sucks, but so what? You can recast it. Just keep an eye out for that shit. That's a solid spell. I also like Eye Bite's decent. I like Overwhelming Presence. This is the Big Brother version of Overwhelming... What was it called? Grief. Overwhelming Grief. Which we got rid of already. Did we get rid of it? I guess we did. But this is, like they said, the Big Brother version of it. And I do like that spell. This is the one that really screws them over. This is flat-footed. Remember, it does all kinds of... like they take a minus to their armor, they take their Their dex bonus is gone. Notice this one's even better. After the spell wears off, they break free from it, they take wisdom damage. So it's a really good way for you to find out who broke free from the spell. And notice this even more. After they break free from the spell and take the wisdom damage, they're staggered for 1 to 4 rounds. Notice this. If they make the very first save, they are staggered for 1 round. So there's still a penalty to them, which is what I love. Teammate friendly, AoE, and an enchantment. It's an amazing spell. I also like Greater Shout for some damage. 10d6. It's not going to get any better than that. And again, stun for 1 round. Nice AoE. Big cone. No spell resistance. Not teammate friendly. I love Summon Huge Elemental. I love Summon Monster 6. Waves of Ecstasy is okay. Eye Bite's decent. There's a lot of good stuff in here. You have to be choosy because you're only getting 4. Going Bard. I'm going to grab me some use magic dice. Again, probably going combat trick because I screwed up my build. What do I want? I really wish I could get another spell focus. I can't because down here I'm going to get something called Mage Tattoo. So we're kind of screwed ourselves. It's okay. We're not that bad off. I can get like an armor focus for light armor. Why not get a +1 to your armor at all times? Don't like that one. I can get myself probably dodge. There you go. Get endurance, improved blind fight, improved initiative. There's still good stuff in here to grab. There's just not what I wanted. I'm sad now. What do I want though? Yeah, I'll take dodge. Fuck it. I don't mind it. From here, replacing any spells. Always check. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Still good. If by this point you figured out that hypnotic pattern is crap, this is your chance to cycle it out. Old monster, looking good, looking good. All this stuff, we want it, we want it, we want it. Yep. We're good. So literally, like I said, this is your last and only chance to get rid of hypnotic pattern. Remember, not rainbow pattern, that's the good one, for sure, because it's level 4. This is the level 2. And if it's not working anymore, cycle that shit out. But I think we're good. We're going to keep everything. Level 3 spell and level 6 spell. What do we have left on our list? Here's our Overwhelming Grief, which is still staring us in the face. We can totally grab that now. Or Slow. I like Slow. And again, I like Slow for a couple reasons. Notice it lowers their reflexes. It's AoE, it's teammate friendly. Yes, there's spell resistance and they may make their check, but will all of them? Also, if they have haste on them, I think this automatically dispels haste, which means there is no save. It's just slow and haste cancel each other out. Poof, it's gone. That's awesome. This could be really useful for you and your team. And let's face it, slow targets are easier targets to round up and kill. So I'm cool with that one. Level 6. I'm going to grab that Summon Monster 6. Summon Huge Elemental. Yeah, Summon Monster 6. And here's why. For evil, no, remember, Berlani Azadas, that's not you. You're Red Caps. You're the evil guy. But also, look at the evil version up here. You get the Extraplanar Soul Eater. That's that little bastard that's like looks like an undead, but he's not. He's an outsider, I think. And he does wisdom damage. He's a mean little prick. So he's awesome. We're going to grab that guy. Bard, almost done. Looking real good over here. What we got left? Mage Tattoo, Evocation. That means all of our Evocation spells get 1 more caster level to them. Remember, by the end of your build, you're not a level 20 caster. You're level 19. Because of that 4 level dip in the Dragon Disciple, you lose 1 caster level, but not for Evocation anymore. So by the end of this build, we will be level 20, but only for your Evocation spells. That's still cool. I would have liked grabbing Greater Spell Focus and Mage Tattoo, so I fucked up. And that's where I fucked up is... I grabbed stuff down here that I didn't need to grab. Or no, sorry, I grabbed stuff up here I didn't need to grab, like your improved critical. I could have grabbed that down here. And that would have given me my 1 ability back. Same with weapon focus, I didn't need that. I could have grabbed something like Arcane Strike probably down here. And then I could have had something else cooler up there. So you could fudge this around a little bit, but it's still a solid build the way it is. I'm okay with it. Level 6, this is one of our last picks. This is our last pick here, so you gotta be careful. Greater Shout is a solid spell. Huge Elemental is fun. This will be the one that I grabbed for your Thundercaller build. Remember, you needed a large or a huge elemental, air elemental to get extra lightning damage for the storm, remember? So that will be that one. This one we're going for the Summon Monster 6. And I do like Greater Shout. You could have convinced me of Eye Bite, though. It's a solid spell. It is an auto-target. Well, not auto-target. It's like an auto-hit spell. Like you pick a target and he hates your guts because you basically fuck him over. But if they're immune to Sickened, this has no effect on those guys. So it's kind of lame. Here's our last level of Bard. Last point of Charisma. Watch your 7-7-6-6-6-5. Got 7 right there, baby. 3, 7, 2 6s, and a 5. That's a lot of spells a day. And again, finish really nice here with your abilities. I'll show you when we're done. Last level 5 spell pick. I can't stress enough the importance of Mind Fog. Probably should have grabbed it sooner. But I like this one because this is not only a good enchantment spell, this is amazing fuck you spell to their wisdom and their will saves. It's not teammate friendly. That includes you. Be real careful with that shit. But if you have turn-based combat on, which is super easy nowadays, slap that shit on, hit the biggest group of bad guys, whether it's fighters, rogues, wizards, it don't matter. Slap it on top of them. They will have to leave the fog to try to get away from the penalties of the fog. And even if they fail their save, you'll notice even after they leave the fog, it clings to them for 2 to 12 rounds after. So as soon as they get out of the fog, hit them with your Phantasmal Web, hit them with your Shadowy Evocation. Any will save spell at that point becomes money because they're at a massive penalty to their save. Still a nat 20 and they will have no problem. But that's the goal, is to get them to the nat 20. Now I'm going to show you some gear besides that stuff there. We want to show you, we can get rid of weapons now. We don't need keys either. Let's give you robe. It is the Ambrosial Attire of Arcane Annihilation. Sounds tits, doesn't it? We get rid of armor now. We don't need that right now. We're going to get you a belt. Normally, for your main character, I would suggest the Belt of Physical Perfection plus 8. That's 8 to Strength, Dex, and Con. Why wouldn't you want this, Brother Mutant? Because I'm going to give you the Devil Sash? Devil Sash. Plus 8 to Dex and Con only, no Strength. Immunity to poison. There's a reason for this, though. Trust me when I say your strength is going to be fine. The reason your strength is going to be fine is because I'm going to get you a glove called the Star Soldier Gauntlet. Right here. This allows you to cast a kick-ass spell every day, or at every round, from your hand slot, so your glove slot. And it gives you a plus 8 to your strength. So again, you got your strength, your dex, and your con all up to 8. We're going to get you the hat of Mental Perfection plus 8. Because you're the main character, you should have this. This is a plus 8 to strength, or sorry, to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Amazing upgrade for you. It's not the only thing you could have done that gives you a charisma of 8, but it's the one that makes sense for this kind of character. And it looks like a wizard hat, so it looks pretty pimped. So that's your headwear. Now we need a necklace. First I need a ring of... There's a ring of circumstances that you want. And if you're evil, it doesn't matter, but you can get yourself a ring. Greater Ring of Ultimate Protection is a solid one. I like... actually, let's cancel all these things here. Hold on a second. Okay. There's a Great Dreamer's... Oh, yeah. Come on, where you at, little bastard? Great Ring of Ultimate Protection, I did that. It's Ring of Circumstances, I did that. Evasion is okay, Blur is okay. Ring of Chaos or Law is good for you if you're lawful or if you're chaotic. That's on you. Greater Ring of Balance is only if you're true neutral. There it is, Great Dreamer's Smile. I knew it was in there somewhere. What the hell? So that's your rings that you wanted. You can use a shield, but not with your sling staff, so use a two-hander. Cloak. Plenty of choices. I'm just going to give you a Cloak of Resistance plus 6 for now, just to speed this part along. We were at your headwear, you got your gloves. We need footwear. I'm going to give you the Manticore Skin Boots. It's my favorite. And then we got wrist item. I'm going to get you, remember, archery bracers don't do shit for you. You are not an archer. You are, however, wearing robes, so bracers of armor class plus 8. Also good choices are Charon's Touch, bracers of deflection, gold vision because of your illusion spells, but that's only if you're wearing armor and not the bracelets of armor class +8 and the robes that I'm giving you. We do have a neck piece that you want, and it's the Amulet of 4 Elements. Okay, I believe that's everything, well, not counting the rods. As a caster, you want Rod of the Fearless, Rod of Flaming Vengeance, Rod of Power Source, Rod of Undeath, and the Grand Master's Rod. Dun dun dun. Wait, let's get you out, baby. You already got your weapon. Armor-wise, this is the one you're going to wear. It's these robes. These robes are a gift from a patron, someone that's going to craft shit for you. Figure out who, kiss their ass, do everything you need to do to make them happy, and everything in your kingdom to make them happy. That's something you have to Google. Notice you get a +4 to your attack rolls, but only for race spells. You don't have race spells. That's not true. You have Snowball. And I'm about to give you another race spell. I'll show you here in a minute. Notice +1 damage per dice of fire, acid spells, force damage, cold, and electric. You don't have acid spells, and I don't think you have anything that does force damage. Sadly, Sonic's not in here. But you do have Lightning Bolt. Remember your Shadow Evocation? You have a cold spell, Snowball, and Ice Storm from Shadow Evocation. Fire spells, we got all kinds of those, so I'm going to have to list those to you. And notice you also get +4 to your spell pen. Beautiful, right? Just no armor. That's why we needed the bracers. Going on, let's get those bracers. Where are you at, you bastard? Now I'll be happy. Let's give you your Ring of Circumstances, and we'll give you another ring here in a minute. This is your Belt of Devil Sash. +8 to Dex and Con, and you're immune to poisons now forevermore. Still need strength. Where's my glubbies? Star Soldier's Gauntlets. +8 to strength, and, wait for it, you can cast a laser beam that does 4d6 of damage. What does laser beam mean? It means you're casting Scorching Ray. That's a ray spell. Remember, we just got a +4 to our ray spell attacks right fucking here. And a big bump thanks to our high dexterity. So you're zapping if you want. At every round, this is all you have to do is cast this spell-like ability. You do 46, 46, 46 of damage, of fire damage, and I think it may be buffed from the staff in your hand, and this, and being draconic, and the necklace I'm about to equip you. We'll find out. I'll show it to you. Necklace is this guy right here. Notice this one. Bonus to your damage if it's fire, electric, cold, or acid. That's it. But that's fire and electric and cold. You can at least use those three. You just don't have any acid spells, sadly. It is fine. Booties. Manticore skin boots mean you move faster and you got better armor. So we're up to 30 now, and our armor is +4 from that. That saves our next slot, because normally that's what we put here. It's the Amulet of Natural Armor. That allows you to use this. Rings. Well, first, cloak. Here's your Cloak of Resistance +6. +6, +6, +6. Good enough. Now, ring. We have Great Dreamer Smile, one of my favorites. +2 luck bonus to your attacks, to your damage, to your saving throws across the board, and to your skill checks, and spell pen, and your immune to curses. This is a nice one. Don't want that one? That's fine. I understand that. Maybe you want the Greater Ring of Ultimate Protection. Sounds like it's ultimate. That's what I was told. This is a solid one. +5 to your armor. That's natural, or sorry, deflection armor. That's here, here, and here. That's amazing. You get +5 to your resistances. Well, you already got the cloak at +6. That means we don't have to use that cloak. You can put something else in here. Yeah, it went down 1, 1, and 1 because it's +5, not +6. But so what? I'll happily take that slot back. And there's some cool shit you can put in here, and I'll show you another cloak that I like. Hat. The baller hat of awesomeness. Look, you can't even see, but it's a +8 to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Fucking awesome. Let's give you first, almost forgot your rods. Sorry. I totally forget these things. Here is your rod of, here's your Grandmaster rod. That is a special gift. Here's your Rod of Flaming Vengeance. Here is your Power Source rod, Undeath rod, and Rod of Fearless. You want all 5 of them fuckers. This turns every spell that you cast that does damage into fire damage. That's tits. I'll show you that here in a second. Last thing is we needed a special cloak. So go back to shoulder items. Right here. Type in A. Search. That should be every goddamn cloak that you have access to. And some aren't called cloaks. Like here's a cape. It is considered a cloak. It's shoulder items. Notice that all it does is increase your divination school DC check. There's only one divination school or divination spell in the game that I know of that has a DC check, and it's awesome, but you don't have it. So this is dumb. But Cloak of Heroism, free. Cloak of Resistance 6 we already have. Cloaks of Shadows, you can have better stealth, immunity to blindness and dazzling. That sounds cool. You'll probably have those things. Keep them in a pack. Charred Mantle, that's someone else's cloak. You can't use that one. Enchanter's Cape, your enchantment spells get a bonus to your DC. You have a lot of enchantment spells. You are a bard. This is okay. There's other stuff though to pick from. Where's the one I'm looking for? Noxious Veil? Yeah, that's your guy. Here's an acid spell for you, baby. It is a cloak that gives you acid resistance 30. And twice a day you can cast acid fog. It's fucking sweet. Okay. Now I need to first rest twice. And it's weird to say that, but I need to explain why. You rest to recharge your ring. So just instant rest, close. Your ring can activate for any of these 4 things. This is a laundry list of shit. I'm going to give you suggestions for what I like. For you, armor, sure. Why not get some dexterity? Okay, how about some charisma? That's important. And your spell DCs, those matter, don't they? Sure. So we got armor, dex, charisma, spell DC checks. That's what that ring is giving you. That's your ring of circumstance. That's an amazing ring. I'm going to pause the game, take all these things off, put stuff away, and we're going to show you some cool shit you get to do with this character. This one is really fun. I'm actually glad you asked for this. And again, the Thunder Callers is equally fun, if not better. So you're going to like that one too. Get off my bar. Okay. First, before we put these things away, I do need to go and rest again. Because the ring gave you more charisma, that means more spells a day. I want to make sure everything's fully charged. You have the best of everything. Make sure you put your bardic shit down here. So your fascinate, your fire dancing, your making people happy, and whatever the hell else all this shit does. Is that it? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, here it is. The heals take more. But that's good. If you're going to melee, you want your charge. You're not meleeing ever. Same with coup de grace. You can't coup de grace with your stick, I don't think. It has to be a melee attack. But here's your Dragon's Breath twice a day. That's going to be some fun damage you get to do. Here is your Rapid Shot. Here is your Arcane Strike. It likes to shut itself off. Keep an eye on it. Here's your Deadly Aim. Matter of fact, I'm going to shuffle all these things over here. Maybe you want to fight defensively at some point. Nothing wrong with that. Here's your Cloak. Acid Fog twice a day. Here is your... Every round you can cast that laser beam. That's from those gloves. It takes you forever to get them, but trust me when I say you're going to want them. From there, I'll just put that down there. You have all these rods, but those are over here. These are powerful. Don't kid yourself. We got some really good shit in here. But spells now, I like to put on just the light spell and maybe like flare. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We don't need flare. But I do like light spell. We want your snowball. I put your damaging spells usually on the right, and I put your crowd control stuff on the left up high, and I usually put the buffs right below those. So like this one here, Expeditious Retreat. Here's your nice firepower, and here's your flare burst. That's more crowd control. I'm gonna grab Sense Vitals. You want that. Here's some blur. Your image. We got glitter dust. That's crowd control. Here's your beautiful hypnotic pattern. Got ourselves a nice burning arc. Sound burst. I think that's everything. Then we got Good Hope. Fireball. Haste. That's another buff. Let's actually move these guys up higher. You're not going to get everything in your tray, just so we're clear on this. I just want to show you how many kick-ass spells you have. Here's more damage. Crushing Despair, that's a debuff. But you also have Displacement, which is a buff. You have Slow, which is a debuff. Level 4, Teleport. Greater Invis, you'll love that one, especially for Sense Files. Here's your Shout. Here's your Hold Monster. Here's your Rainbow Pattern, and we didn't even get to your level 5 or 6 spells. Okay, I want you to, first, quick save. We're going to damage our team to show you how damaging your spells can be. Okay, first things first, your spell book. Notice you have pips. These pips refer to the fact you have meta magics. If you see 2 pips, that means 2 different meta magics can go in that spell. You don't have to put 2 in there. You can put one of the other, and then both. And you should do so. Every time you get a new meta magic, you should redo your spell book. Every time you get a new spell, you should check it to see if you can meta magic it. So here's Snowball as a fine example. We want to intensify that fucker. That's this one here. I'm labeling it red because red makes me think damage. Right spell, of course, give it a border. The red Snowball means full damage, the 10d6 of damage, okay? Notice we can do Snowball and we can also extend it. That's what this one is. I'm going to make that blue because it makes me think of time. I don't know. So that means the effect, the staggered effect that's 1 round, can now be 2 rounds. These are both level 1 spells still. Remember we had that meta magic feat or trait we picked up. That's for this spell. That's why they're level 1 even though they should be level 2. But notice, we can make a level 2 version. All you have to do is combine both of them. See how it's level 2 here? And red and blue make what? Purple or pink, whatever. I don't care. But the point is it's now the level 2 version. And it's double tits. It's double the duration. So 2 rounds if they fail their save. I don't care, but it's nice. And then the other, it still does the 10d6 of damage because it's intensified. That's awesome. You'll do this for every spell. I'm not going to do it for everything, but I do want to do it for the fire ones, for the intensified, because you want to see what kind of damage you can get with those pieces of gear that I've been touting as being awesome. Notice here's your burning arc. I'll intensify that one. Sounds good. How about we intensify some fireball? Sounds good to me. Let's get our... It says you can intensify shout. That is a lie. I mean, it'll let you do it, but it still is only going to do that 5d6 of damage. It never is any different. You can extend it. Okay, so that part does work. So these are a little glitchy. I would recommend you test them first. Rainbow pattern, you can extend that. You should definitely do the same for monster. Definitely for greater invis and sense vitals. No reason in the world you don't want to have sense vitals be extended. It'll be a different level to cast it. But so what? What did last you 2 minutes is now 4 minutes. Same with your greater invis. What is now 2 minutes can now be 4 minutes. Yes, it's a higher casting. Still worth it. You want to be invisible. It's harder for them to hit you. You get all kinds of bonuses to your swing with your ranged attacks. And you can shoot with snowballs. You can shoot with your sling staff. You're going to have plenty of fun with those. Remember our shadow evocation, we want to intensify it because that's one of the ones that we got the trait on. See, that's why it's still level 5. Here and here. You don't ever cast this one, you cast this one from now on. However, I will say this. Spontaneous casting, notice that the casting time is standard action. You see that? Look at it down here. Oh, wait. What? It should be... I don't think the game is catching up. Hold on a second. It should be a full turn, and it will be, just so we're clear. The reason I say that is because if you're a spontaneous caster, which you are, you're a bard, then that means that anytime you meta magic something like this, not counting meta magic rods, it takes a full turn now to cast it. That's the penalty you take for being a spontaneous caster. And it's okay. What else were you going to do that round? Move? Fuck that. Just use your shadow evocation and end your turn. That's fine. But again, just know that that's a thing. And notice that shadow evocation is able to extend, and you may think, well, that's cheating. How do you extend a fireball spell or a lightning bolt spell? You can't. But remember, that's not the only 2 spells in here. Shout has a duration, remember? And that's one of the spells in here. Same with Volcanic Storm, same with Ice Storm. They have durations, so you can technically extend them. Notice that that is an option, okay? And the game is not wrong on that one. So again, you have 2 different versions of shadow evocation, modified, all at the same level. And again, because of that, you can do both. And here's your level 6 version of it. That's awesome. And yes, you can still pick the fireball version of this. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't do the extend won't do anything for you for that version, but it will let you cast it as a level 6 spell. And I don't mind that because you're still getting the intensified. And that's cool. We could have picked any of these 1 spells here and meta magic them up. Like let's say we wanted Greater Shout to last longer. Notice it's level 7. We can't cast level 7 spells, but remember that trait that I picked up? The one that we specifically picked up for Shadow Evocation? What if I would have grabbed it for Greater Shout? See that? This level 7 would have been back to being a level 6 spell, and it would have the extended duration. I could have done that for Overwhelming Presence. Summon Monster could have lasted longer. Brilliant Inspiration could have lasted longer. Whatever you wanted to do. But remember, those only work for meta magic feats that increase your spell level of the spell by 1. If it increases it 2, 3, or 4 or more, then it ain't going to work. Because all that trait does, it takes it down 1 level. So 7 becomes 6. If it was 7 because it was level 5 and say you empowered it, so 5 becomes level 7, getting that trait would take from level 5 spell to level 7 back to level 6. Because it only subtracts 1 point. Okay, 1 level increase. So again, this at this point is garbage. But like I said, you would do this to your whole spellbook, and your spellbook is going to look tits, especially because of all the different meta magics you got. You got 2 of them. There's a lot of combos that you got here that we are not touching. Feel free to do that. I'm not going to do all of them. We're going to close that up. Quick save again. Now, I want you to see, let's get Pally over here. He likes to take a beating for you. Okay. We're going to pick your character. First, let's show you the Dragon's Breath. Notice the cone. If you wanted the beam, you don't go Gold Dragon, you don't go Red Dragon, you go Brass Dragon. But we wanted the cone. So here's your guy. I'm not going to hit my team over here because it'll kill him. He has a really good saving throw because he's the Pally build I just made the other day. He's got a massive reflex save. Look at that shit. He only needed a 3. Nice work, buddy. But now we can see the damage. And that's why I did this. 5d6 plus 12, and he was vulnerable, or 5d6, doing 12 damage. He was vulnerable to damage, but he saved for half damage. But 5d6, that's not that impressive. And you can only do it twice a day, but it's free. And again, that came from being a Dragon Disciple tier 3, I think. Notice we have the Acid Fog. I'm curious to see if he takes extra damage. Pause it, let's find out. Yes, he does. Look at that, 2d6 plus 8. Where's the 8 coming from? Okay, 2 dice. We're getting 4 more damage for this. Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why are we getting 8? 4 and 4. I think it's giving it to us because it should be fire damage. You're getting 1 from acid here, 1 from acid here. That's it. This is for fire only. The fact that you're a Dragon Disciple, that's fire. You're getting 1 more for fire. So fire should be at plus 4. Cold should be at plus 2, so should acid, so should electric. Okay, so it is acting wonky, but it's definitely working on spells that aren't your spells, and that's pretty cool. Let's go back to our earlier save. Other stuff. Let's do an intensified version of a fire spell to show you what you can really expect for something like fireball damage. Okay, let's take your character and dish out the intensified fireball. See the red border? This is the one that's going to be 15d6 of damage probably. Takes a full turn to cast it because it's meta magic. Bam. He even made his save and he still took fucking 80 damage. 15d6 plus 60. Minimum then of 75 damage, not counting the save. Maximum, what's 15 times 6? 60, 90 plus 60 more. 150 maximum damage you could have done to somebody, AoE style. And you got that multiple times a goddamn day. Let's show you Burning Hands. The meta magic version. And it takes longer to cast it. Solid damage, 10d4 plus 40. 4 times the 10 because of the 4 different things. The little sling staff in your hand, the necklace you got, the robes you got, and the fact that you're draconic and you're a fire dragon draconic. That's why you're getting the 40 there. That's a lot of oomph for a level 2 spell. Just saying. We could have done Snowball. Let's do the intensified Snowball on this side. He's immune to cold, by the way. He's immune, but we can see how much it would have done. Look at that fucking damage, dude. Okay, part of that's because he's vulnerable. He's immune because it's cold, but it's doing fire damage, and I'll explain that here in a second. But notice it's 10d6 plus 41. Where's the 1 coming from? Point blank shot. The 40 is coming from the fact that you have a necklace and the robe, they're for cold spells. But notice it's fire damage. So the staff and the fact that your draconic is working. Where is the fire then coming from? Why is it suddenly fire and not cold? Remember that fucking staff? Rod of Flaming Vengeance. Read that thing. All your damage spells now suddenly do fire damage. Your shout, you can shout fire damage now. Ear piercing scream, we can do auto hit fire damage on this little bitch. It's funny as shit. So if you don't want to do fire damage, like say they're immune to fire, or maybe they heal from fire, that would straight up suck, yo. So, well, don't use that. So what do? All you have to do is have that equipped. You don't even have to have it on, and it gives you the fire damage. And it gives you even more than that. Notice your evocation spells get a 3+ to their DC check. Remember, we got spell focus evocation, and then now we got 3 more. You're at +4 to your DC check right now, bro. And you have a huge charisma right now. One of the highest charismas I can give you. I can get you actually 2 points higher on all these things, 1 point higher on all these things, and if this is your main character, you should do so. How do you do it? There's the thing called an elixir. Items. Search. You're looking for the elixir. Another gift. If you get this, it is a potion, I think. Right here. Elixir of Inconceivable Transmutations of Body and Soul and also Mind. This is a +2 to all your stats permanently to whoever drinks it. You only get one. This is a gift from an artisan. If you kiss his ass and do all the things he wants you to do, this is easy enough to get. I've gotten this twice now. Use it. Permanent buff. Never goes away. See the +2 transmutation blah blah blahs up there for all those things. Look at that fucking charisma stat. The spells a day you have alone, son, are fucking ridiculous. And the DC checks on them are amazeballs. Instant rest. Those. Look at spell book. How many spells you have a day? You got 9, 8, 8, 8, 8, 6, and now you're done. And of course your infinite use spells, of course. That's pretty baller, I'd say. That's a lot of spells. And look how many freaking charges of your songs you have. 47 by the end of the build. We didn't even try to make those higher. So think of the Thundercaller build I'm going to do for you. That's 47 spells a day that do 9d8 of damage that I'll get you. And I'll even get you more than that, more likely than not. But still, the point is the same. It's a fucking a lot of stuff. You got plenty of spells, plenty of damage. And again, if you don't want to do fire damage, just unequip that. And you can do that in combat. All you do is go inventory and go double tap. It's off now. Now, yes, all your spells go back to being lower DC checks for evocation, and they go back to being the normal damage type. That sucks, but if you can stomach it, I still maintain... where's the... Right there. I still maintain that you'd want to have that on, and you are a fire guy. Most of your spells should be fire damage, in my opinion, and that's fucking cool. And if you think that's not interesting, think about this. Make sure to shut it back off, by the way. Think of this. For the types of damaging spells you have, that's fire damage. That's always fire damage. That's auto hit fire damage. These are better fire damage than this one or this one. Single target, of course. That's always fire damage. That's now fire damage. That's still fire damage. This AoE sound burst is fire damage now. It's lame, but it's still there. And it's 1d8 +4 now. Always fire damage. This 5d8 thundering drums, it's a terrible cone. See the lame range on it? But now that's 5d8 of fire damage. And again, we can intensify that to make it 10d8 of fire damage +40. That's some fucking amazing amount of damage here from a nice cone like that, right? That's always fire damage. You have Shout is now fire damage. It's only 5d6. So what? And there's still a stun attached to it. Fireball is still fire damage. You have Key Shout. Oh Jesus! Look at this one.
This spell works differently.
What? Oh, okay. It'll let me use it on him. I want to do a quick save in case I kill him by mistake. Who's got the health? Little guy. 78. It was fire damage. It should have been sonic. But it was 20d6 +80. Even if you rolled 21s in a row, which is unheard of, but it happens, I suppose, you could have rolled and still hit for 100 fucking auto hit damage. I'm just saying, it's fucking sweet, right? And you have that one. You have different fire damage. This is now fire lightning bolt. As weird as that is to say, but it really is. Do the 40. Fire for 10d6 plus 40. And again, you have shout, different version of it, but you have volcanic storm. You have ice storm, which is now fire damage again. It's just ridiculous. You have what am I missing? Oh, here you go. Greater shout, 10d6 of fire damage. And again, we got better versions of shadow evocations. Instead of 10d6, now they're 15d6. And again, just more castings a day. Lots of cool shit. Now, as far as your summons, here is your dire wolves, your Balani, Azada, in your case, red caps because you're evil. In your case, instead of the Axiomite, you're getting the Soul Eater. Look at this little mean fucker. Takes a while to cast him. Summons are always a full round. Except for Animate Dead, I should say. Look at that evil son of a bitch. You know you want him on the party. He's awesome. And he's immune to all kinds of shit, and he does wisdom damage for every smack he does to the face of the bad guys. The bad guys hate that prick. He's not around for long, but he's a solid character, and I think he's awesome. And you can buff him just like you buff the team. So you got your Inspire Courage still here. Fascinate to lock down targets, make everybody resistant to fire just like you. Inspire Greatness is fun. Inspire Heroics. You got all the cool shit. And again, just to emphasize my Ray spell. Remember, this is your glove. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Remember, you got not only a bonus to your swing, remember you got the robes, that's a plus 40 to your Ray spells. This is a Ray spell. He did not like that. 4d6 of damage, that's 24. How much damage did he actually take? 46 plus 17. Where's the 17 coming from? Well, 1's coming from point blank shot, so it's actually plus 16. 4 times 4, because it's fire. Remember, you got the staff, you're a dragon, sort of. You got the robes, and you got the necklace. That's 4 to all your fire damage. 4d6, so 4 times 4 is 16. Point blank shot makes it 17, and that's minimum. And remember, all those could have been sneak attacked. We just didn't do it. You have to cast this on yourself, and you have to make yourself invisible. Sadly, I can't sneak attack him, because he's on my team, and he already knows where I'm standing. But that's an amazing fuck you, and look at the swing. Oh, actually, I can't show you this one. Let's actually go into the dump. This will be the last thing I show you, buddies. The video's already getting 2 hours in. I wanted you to see this, and plus I'm distracting myself from this god-awful election. This is a fun build, and it really is based on those robes, and as silly as it is, as long as you don't mind having the braces of armor class plus 8, you got plenty of armor, man. You're not amazing or nothing, but you're not soloing the game either. You're doing fine, and if this is your main character, this would be how I'd make him, or her, in her case, her. She's fun, she's buffs, she's got everything you'd want her to have as far as spells and attacks and team support and then some. She's got really good athletics, which I'll show you the skills here once we get downstairs. I'll show you how high they are right now and the fact that we can buff them even more. And the reason I say how high they are now, remember you got the best hat, the best belt, the best gloves for strength. All your stats are better. So of course your skills are better too. Okay, so they weren't just high, they're like super high now. So, character sheet, look at this shit. 25 for athletics, 37 persuasion, 45 knowledge arcana check. That shit's ungodly. Mobility's at 18. Notice something else, by the way. These 16, 13, and 13s, normally I say they don't exist. That's not true. Normally you wouldn't have any skill in these because you haven't unlocked them. But you're a bard. If you look at your bard skill, where the hell is it? This thing here. Half your level to all knowledge and lore skill checks, and may make all knowledge and lore skill checks untrained. So technically speaking, these numbers are real. The 16, the 13, the 13, they're just lame, but they are there. Mobility of an 18, and again, you're getting a bonus next to being sure-footed for being halfling. Same with your athletics, you got sure-footed and noble family Ladavka to get you your little snowball spell. That gave you another bonus as well. So your athletics is not great, but it's not horrible by any stretch of the imagination. Perception is baller. Stealth is crap, but you cast 1 invisibility spell on you, that jumps up another 20 points. That could be 38. Trickery, 17. Again, that's not amazing, but it'll get you through at least chapters 1 and 2. You'll have a team with you. When you can make the trickery check, you will do so. When you can't, you give it to the good person that can do it. But until that time, you want that free XP. Use Match Device finished at a solid 31, and we're not done yet. This is where you're at right now. Remember, you have spells, and there's a really good one.
My skills are absolute.
Get over here.
How cute! I am never wrong.
She's never wrong. She said so. You want to have, where is it? Greater Heroism. Once you have Heroism, you cast that on yourself. Once you have Good Hope, you cast that on yourself. Once you have Greater Heroism, that's the one you want. Why? Not only plus 40 your swing, all your skills went up 4. See the Greater Heroism morale bonus? All that shit just got jacked through the fucking roof. And even these crappy ones are still looking pretty respectable. But I'll take a fucking 49 over here. That shit's amazing. 41 to Persuasion. You run a kingdom. They kiss your buttocks. It's amazing. Your perception check and your use magic device check is so high. Chances are when you get a scroll or a wand that you would normally not be able to use, you'll be able to use it. And that's why I think you're cool. Now let's take this character in. I want to show you just a couple of little tricks. You know, your spells and whatnot. So we're going to do a quick save here. I want to give you not only Expeditious Retreat to buff up. You want to have, of course, Sense Vitals. And you want to get your Greater Invis on. Okay? Quick save of that. Notice you're bright. We got targets here that are immune to fire. That don't mean they're immune to your smacky. 25 damage reduced because of the fire damage. Oh yeah. Just chucking all kinds of shit into his face. And let's take a look at that damage output. 1d6 plus 25. That's respectable for someone that's swinging with a freaking mallet or a sling. The fire they're immune to, so it could have been a little bit more, but that's okay. And they're also immune to crits, so don't let that discourage you. Because you have the ability to crit more often than not. Well, not more often than not, but you have the ability to crit. So you could have had some fun. Some of these guys are particularly nasty. Giving them mo. Game's thinking. Deep thoughts. Now these guys, I happen to know, they don't like fire, especially Mr. Water Elemental, so fire spells work beautifully on them. I could use the Dragon's Breath. I could turn them to acid and use that thing to do some damage, but why bother? I have really nice spells. And while I could do Burning Arc for 10d6 of damage, bouncing it around and doing all kinds of fun, I have a 10d4 version of that right there. Look at that damage. That's a level 2 spell, buddy. 10d4 plus 40. Just mean. Give it a second. I'm going to do one more quick thing over here for you. I forgot that these guys are immune to sneak attack, so I can't show you the cool sneak attack stuff that you can do. Elementals are always a pain like that. Okay, now, other stuff you could do, Thundering Drums. Remember, that's a 5d8 if I do the big boy version, which I haven't made. And by the way, if you forget to make a version, in combat, you can go to your spellbook and make it on the fly, because you're a spontaneous caster. So go here, find your Thundering Drums, Meta Magic, Intensify, make it the red border. It's now waiting for you at level 4. Okay? Close out your spellbook. Now go to your level 4 spells. And there he is. And what's better, I think, I don't know this, but I think, this is 10d8 plus 40 fire damage. That's nice. But if you go to your spell, here, I gotta go back to my character. Damn it. I want to show you why it matters. Mr. Bad Guy over here is scared of me. He's the mean son of a bitch. Alright. Anyway, back to my spell. Where are we at? Number 4. Spell resistance. Okay, so take something like Snowball, something that doesn't have spell resistance. That's cold damage, but remember, right now it'll be fire damage. I think, I don't know this, I think that if they're resistant to spell damage, this is still a no spell resistance spell, even if I turn it into fire damage. You see that? That's why this is cool. So I have cold and fire, no spell resistance. I have sonic spells like, no. Where are you at, you little bastard? Shout's here somewhere. There it is. Shout that has sonic damage or, in this case, fire damage. And again, no spell resistance. Same with greater shout, way the hell back here. No spell resistance, 10d6 of sonic damage, or in the case of me right now, because I have that rod of flaming vengeance, fire damage. And I think no spell resistance is still applicable. That's pretty fucking cool, I think. I'm going to ray spell this son will be.
You should have run.
Oops, because I just attacked him. My bad. Thought I clicked on the spell. He dominated me. Tried to. Alright, I wanted to do this. Okay, I got 2 of the 3. Notice he had spell resistance. Spell resistance of 12, and I failed. I rolled a nat 1. Really fucked that up. But again, I hit him for 46 of damage, and then plus 17, and of course if I would hit him a third time, another plus 17. And all 3 of those could have hit with my sneak attack love that I got going on right now if it weren't for the fact these bastards are immune to sneak attack. And that now our sneak attack is up to 6d6 plus 6 damage. And it's fire damage because it's the fire spell. And because of our robes, our necklace, our staff, and our sling staff in our hands, and the fact that we're draconic, remember we still get the +4 per die. So think about the math on this. I hate to interrupt. I know it's 2 hours, but I want you to think about the math on that spell. Of course, I don't have the spell itself. Shit. It's 4d6 of damage. Okay, so that's 4 dice per beam. 3 beams. That's 12 dice. Okay. Wait. Then each of those beams can hit for 66 of damage of sneak attack if I'm lucky. So that's 6 and 6 and 6. That's another 18. So 12 and 18. That's 30 dice of damage. Okay, doesn't matter if we roll all ones. That's 30 dice of damage times 4, because remember your robes, your necklace, your sling staff, and the fact that you're draconic. That's fire damage. That's +4 damage per die. 30 die times 4. That's 120 extra damage you're dishing out at will. You never run out of that spell because of those cool gloves you have. This is what I'm saying. You will like this build. It's not as cool as the Thundercaller build, that I'll do that in a couple days, but I think you'll like this one, brother. But with that, that's all I wanted to show you. My name is Brother Mutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think of this excessively long video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.